Italian is probably the most common opening in chess, from beginner up to the professional level. It's strongly recommended for players who are new to the game because all the moves are easy to remember and positions are often very symmetrical. The opening is called Italian when the game begins with the moves e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, bishop c5. White then has several options. The main line follows with c3, knight f6, d3, d6, and both sides castling. Your plan for the middle game is to develop your other pieces and perhaps strike on the queen side. Try to attack the bishop to gain some tempo. Another option is, for example, the four knights variation. The line after black plays bishop c5 continues with knight c3, knight f6, d3, d6, bishop g5, h6, bishop takes f6, queen takes f6, knight d5, queen d8. The plan for the middle game is very similar to the previous line. Try to break through with your A and B pawns, develop your other pieces, and don't forget castling. In the four-knight variation, you can also go for the less aggressive approach. Instead of playing bishop g5 and trading the bishop, you can play h3 and just castle. If you're scared of playing aggressively, you can just wait with these natural moves and respond to opponents' attacks. The last very interesting line in Italian is the Evans Gambit. It's the most aggressive approach in Italian. Instead of developing your knight or playing c3 to prepare to strike in center, you play b4. This sacrificed the pawn, but in exchange of faster development and creating threats. The line goes like bishop takes b4, c3, bishop a5, d4, he takes d4, castle. Now it looks like you're giving up a second pawn for free. When your opponent takes it, you play queen b3, setting up a battery and threatening to take the pawn back. Black has to play queen f6, otherwise you will play bishop takes f7 with check and have a better position. If black plays queen f6, the line continues with bishop g5, queen g6, and knight takes c3. Your plan for the middle game could be to bring your rooks to support the center of the board or retreat your bishop back and re-rotate your knight. The most successful opening trap for white is from the four knights variation. If you get into this completely symmetrical position, you play bishop g5, then you capture the knight, and if black takes your bishop with queen, you play knight d5. Only option for black is to come back with queen to d8. If that doesn't happen, you can just simply fork by taking on c7. After queen d8, you play c3, and if your opponent plays bishop e6, you strike with d4. After e takes d4 and c takes d4, black has to retreat the bishop. If it comes back to b6, you will immediately capture it with your knight, and then move your pawn to d5 to fork. If the bishop goes to b4, you take it with the knight. If black captures your knight with one of his own, you play queen a5, and after the knight retreat, you follow up with the same fork as before. If black first captures your bishop, which is the best move, you capture knight on c6 with yours, and after you play queen c7. When the bishop comes back, you take the pawn on c6 with check, and you are pawn up with a much better position. So what have you learned from this lesson? Most of the lines in Italian are easy to remember because of the symmetry of the positions, and the moves are quite intuitive. You can go with either the aggressive and more fun approach of the Evans Gambit or a slow and closed one with d6 and castling early. The trap line from the four knights variation with all the possibilities is quite common. You can get a winning position easily, so go learn that. I know it's a lot of information to process from this video, and you probably didn't remember everything, so I made a quiz for you to practice and revise all that has been said in those 5 minutes. Link is in the description. Go do that, then play some games, and if you need, you can always come back to this video anytime you want. Good luck!